Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get you to kind of move a little closer to where I am, I want you to be able to hear all the remarks that are made today. So if y'all can kind of get from Courtney Twilliger to me, that would be great. If not closer, but the closer you get, the better you are. On behalf of Governor Brian Kemp, Georgia Department of Transportation Commissioner Russell McMurray, the Emanuel County Commissioners, and the Swainsboro Emanuel County Chamber of Commerce, I want to welcome you today to this event to honor Sheriff J. Tyson Stephens. The purpose of this event is a gentleman by the name of Henry Twilliger has worked diligently over the past several months to have a section of U.S. Highway 80 from the city limits, the western city limits of Swainsboro to the eastern city limits of Twin City to be recognized and dedicated in honor of Sheriff J. Tyson Stephens. Though one of the signs has been put up, the one on the Swainsboro side has been put up, it's been covered for about a week. We have the other one here that we'll unveil at the end of the program in just a few minutes, and that sign will be placed at the city limits of Twin City. And from here on out, that will be known as the J. Tyson Stephens Memorial Highway. J. Tyson Stephens was born July the 9th, 1952 in Emanuel County. He grew up here and graduated from Swainsboro High School in 1969. 1970. He attended Abraham, I'm trying to give him some extra credit, you know how Tyson. He attended Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Georgia in 1975. He served 6 years in the Georgia National Guard. Tyson married Susan Fagler in 1973, and they made their home in Emanuel County, where they raised their 3 children who are with us today, Jill, Josh, and Jessica. He was elected as a county commissioner in 1982 and elected as sheriff in 1984 and served for 36 years until December the 31st, 2020. He was a graduate of Leadership Georgia and served on the board of directors for both the Georgia Sheriff's Youth Home, State Board, and the Board of Trustees of Harrington Homestead. He was chairman of the control group for the East Georgia Drug Task Force. He was appointed by Governor Roy Barnes to serve on the Georgia Post Council, where he served as chairman. He was also appointed to the Georgia Board of Corrections. In 2000, Sheriff Stephens was the recipient of the prestigious honor of Georgia Sheriff of the Year. And at this time, I would like to honor and recognize a friend of Tyson's who is actually the longest serving sheriff in the state of Georgia, maybe in the nation, from Houston County, Sheriff Cullen Talton. And coincidentally, the sheriff has his chief deputy that started with him when he started being sheriff 50 years ago, Billy Ray. Billy, nice to have you guys in town today. At this time, I'd like to call on Nick Robertson with the Emanuel County Sheriff's Department. Nick, I know you're here to say a few words.
All right. Acknowledgements have already been given, but I definitely do want to say hello to the family once again. It's been a while since I've seen you guys, but Ms. Susan, thank you. I cannot say anything about Sheriff Tyson Stephens without saying anything about Ms. Susan. She was the backbone, she was our support, and truthfully, she was our savior sometimes. She kept him in line, so we appreciate that. The thing that I would just like to point out, I appreciate everybody coming. As working for Sheriff Tyson Stephens, I had the privilege to experience him in ways that a lot of us has, but some of you didn't get the privilege. I was an employee of his. He treated me as family, and he treated me as a friend. But working with him was a privilege that I had to have, and I appreciate it. One of the good things that I would say, in short, is that if you ever rode with him, you always had good parking spots. he may not have done it legally, but he definitely got it. We all were embarrassed a tad bit, but yet on the other side, we was like, well, you know, I don't know how he got away with it, but just pull right there. It'll be fine. So we were always happy about that. But I do just want to take out the time to say thank you all for coming to honor our previous sheriff, J. Tyson Stephens. And as we ride down this road, we can forever remember who he was to us all. He treated us all with respect. He wanted to help everybody, and that is what he did to the best of his abilities. But thank you all. I appreciate you. And if you need anything else of this current staff, we hope that we can serve in the exact same way, showing love and appreciation to all of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. I know we have a number of dignitaries and elected officials in this event. I'm not going to try to recognize all those. We do appreciate you coming, but I did notice that Greg Morris, our district DOT representative, is here. Greg, would you like to say a few words? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you're welcome. 30 seconds.
It's great to be back to see some friends in Emanuel County, and when I think about Tyson, his appearance, you know, was striking when I first met him. He's somebody you wouldn't forget under any circumstance. But when I think about him, I think about others. I think about Jimmy Murphy. I think about Billy McNeely, Buck Johnson, Bunny Hudson. All these old friends just comes back to me. All the folks that used to hang around in the old MoDOT crowd. My late father-in-law was from MoDOT, Fletcher Jones, and he told me a lot about Tyson growing up. But he was a good friend of mine. He was an asset to this community, and he was one of the men that thinks when you think of Swainsboro, Emanuel County, one of the first things that would pop into your mind. Their long-serving sheriff, Tyson Stephens, that was a friend of all of us, near and far. So congratulations. It couldn't be a greater honor for a very good man. Thank you.
We're also proud to have with us today Senator Max Burns. Max will be serving us for this area starting January 1st, but we did want to invite Max down today to say a few words. Max?
It's good to be back in Emanuel County, and I've had the opportunity to represent portions of the county in the last session, and in this session I'll have the opportunity to serve the entire part of Emanuel County. But to Ms. Susan, to the family, to the community, what a tremendous asset you had in this place, and his name was Tyson Stephens. 36 years in one of the toughest jobs in America. You know that. He was a friend to everyone, but he kept us all straight. Kept us all. You know, when you're a 16-year-old kid riding the roads for the first time, the last thing you want to see is a blue light behind you, right? But if the blue light was Tyson Stephens, you had a friend, but he was going to make sure you did the right thing. Okay? It's fitting. It's very fitting. It's very appropriate. It's an honor for us to continue to remember the service of Tyson Stephens. And every time I travel that road between Twin City and Swainsboro, and I do it 100 times a month, I will be able to remember his service and his dedication to this community. So thank you to the family. I've spoken to the family, and I thank them for sharing Tyson with this community for a lifetime, literally a lifetime. Thank you. God bless Tyson Stephens and his family.
Thank you, Senator Burns. At this time, I'd like to recognize our representative for our area, Butch Parrish, not only a friend of my neighbor, but a good supporter of our community. He'll have a few remarks, and then he's going to read the actual resolution, the House resolution that was passed, designating this part of the highway.
Thank you, Ken. It's good to be here, and Susan and the family, good to see you guys. I'm sorry that it's taken us this long to get around to doing what we have been trying to do for some time. Henry reminded me daily that we were getting behind, so we would get up if we could. But I was thinking about, and I do have a resolution, I'm going to read that, and it has a lot of nice things to say that you all know. But I couldn't We could not have done this without the cooperation of our fellow legislator, Max. Our member Greg Morris served in the legislature with us before he became the DOT board member, but he's helped with this as well, and the city and the county helped for doing this as well. I got to thinking about a few things about Tyson. Tyson and I were elected at the same time. When I was first elected to the House, that's when he was first elected sheriff. And in that hot summer of 1984, as we crisscrossed the county in this area around here, we'd bump into each other from time to time. It might be early in the morning or it might be late at night. And we'd sort of pick each other up. If we were having a bad day, the other one would kind of cheer you up a little bit and give you a little get up and go, and it made things a lot better. But we had a lot of fun working together. We had a lot of stories that we told, some we don't want to tell. And then it was great to be here. But I thank you all for showing up to show your appreciation and love to Tyson too. The resolution that I want to read to you is House Resolution 342. This is commending and congratulating Sheriff J. Tyson Stephens, whereas Tyson served honor and distinction as Sheriff of Emanuel County from January 1, 1985 to December 31, 2020. He's been long cherished as an honest and dedicated public servant who strives for excellence in all of his endeavors, and whose primary concern is the welfare and safety of the citizens of Emanuel County. And a lifelong resident of Emanuel County, he diligently, conscientiously devoted innumerable hours of his time, talent, energy toward the betterment of his community and state, as evidenced dramatically by his 36 years of superlative service as sheriff. He is highly regarded by the citizens of this community and by the state and local government officials as a man of unquestioned integrity and dedication to the administration of justice and sound principles of law enforcement. The spirited law enforcement professional exhibited extraordinary devotion to duty, outstanding loyalty, fine leadership, and meticulous attention to detail in all of his duties. As his inspiring commitment to the welfare of others is an outstanding example of the positive effect law enforcement professionals have on the lives and well-being of others. It's abundantly fitting and proper that gratitude is expressed for the unique and often unheralded contributions of local law enforcement professionals on behalf of the citizens of the state. Now therefore be it resolved by the House that the members of this body commend the care, courage, sympathy, and selfless devotion exhibited by Sheriff J. Tyson Stephens in carrying out the difficult duties of his vocation. Congratulate him on the grand occasion of his retirement and express their utmost appreciation for having so purely and truly defined for others the meaning of perfect service. And this was passed to the House, and a copy I have here for the family. And then we went on and did the naming of the road, and had cooperation from my friends over in the Senate and the county here as well. So it's an honor to be here today, and I'm delighted to participate in the very fitting ceremony to name this exercise. So congratulations to the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. At this time, we will. I'm actually going to unveil the sign, and after I do that, I'm going to ask Josh, his son, to come up and say a few words. And if any of the other family feel so inclined to do so, please do so. We're not going to complain too much about the trucks because that's money. Okay? So sorry about the noise, but we do the best we can. But after Josh is done and the family's done, if y'all will stick around for some photos, and then everyone else will be dismissed.
My family and I just we're very appreciative for the honor that you've given Daddy today by naming a portion of Highway 80 in his honor. He traveled Highway 80 a bunch of times going to Old Reesville Road back and forth coming to Swainsboro while he was sheriff. Thank you to Representative Parrish, Senator Max Burns, the DOT, for working through the legislative process to get this done. To one of Daddy's best friends, Henry Terwilliger, we love you and we thank you. Mr. Henry, and Daddy always said,
they were like brothers from another mother, and we appreciate him. Daddy loved Emanuel County, and especially the people. He devoted his life to being a friend to you and then sheriff. We're so proud to represent him today. He's smiling down on us today, and we miss him and love him. Now I'd like to introduce you to Papa's real pride and joy, his grandchildren.
Hi y'all, I'm Callie, Papa's first grandchild, and of course his favorite. We know how much our Papa loved each of us, and that we were his jewels. And we would like to share what we call Papa's rules, and that his family tries to live by each and every day to honor him. The first rule is family first.
I'm Reese, and his second rule is to always help others. I'm Charlie, and the third rule is to work hard.
I'm Sam, and the first rule is to be a good friend. I'm Carter, and the fifth rule is to never meet strangers. My papa knew just about everyone, but if he didn't, he would introduce himself and start a conversation. Be like my papa.
Hi, I'm Bo, and the sixth rule is to give second chances.
Hi, I'm Hudson, and the seventh rule is to laugh often.
Hold on.
I'm Baylor. Sorry, Callie, but I was Papa's favorite. The eighth rule is to sing and dance.